Statistics reveal that the African man in the diaspora is caught up with cultural shocks that affect mental health and instability in family dynamics after migrating from Africa and faced with the reality abroad, contrary to the notion in Africa that the grass is super greener in the white man's land. With a blend of real-life stories and cultural insights, a book has been put in place in this light, exposing the emotional and psychological toll of chasing greener pastures.
The African man abroad, how migration redefines the African man. Over the years, I have heard stories that do not often make it to social media. Stories of one's happy homes growing unhappy and breaking apart, of children who slip into emotional withdrawal, of men who were strong, respected in the community, successful back home, walking the streets of the West, lost, burdened, and stripped of their identity. The rate of divorce among African families in the West is alarming. Reasons why I wrote this book.
According to the author, in the West, partners must work equally so hard to earn an income. Since both work equal, chores at home reserved for the woman by African culture is no longer considered work for the woman alone. If the man does not contribute, persistent fight to steer and end a marriage that was beautifully nurtured in Africa.
As African people, it speaks directly into our soul. Let's welcome the child of the Lekwe Kingdom, His Royal Highness Chief Dr. Walters Folo.
Fortune, we thank you.
During the official launch of this transformative book, African men residing abroad attested to its content.
African men back at home defined by expectations on how we can provide our strength and our tradition. When we move to Europe and America, those foundations is quickly redefined by the society that we find ourselves in. A lot of us have difficulties adapting to this new definition of what it means to be an African man in Europe or America. The quicker you adapt and understand what your identity is, an African man, it makes a difference between actually having that bush dream that we have as young Cameroonians and Africans are migrating. The dream that we're chasing just becomes an illusion. The book really gives a perspective of some of the things that we have to know migrating, how we appreciate that new definition of what it means to be an African man.
Context of this book, a lot of challenges, young men that are thinking of immigrating or that are already here, to start talking to their partners and their families about what it means living out in the West.
In Africa, Cameroon inclusive, the book is an eye-opener to African men on migration expectations.
Thank God this time around we have more people who live abroad and they're ready to share their experiences. Anybody who wants to migrate, you might want to talk to people who have migrated before so that you can know what the realities are over there, and then you match your migration objectives, can make an informed decision, not based on the beautiful pictures as we see on social media. This book is actually going to help the African man to plan when it's the case of migrating.
The book author, known affectionately as a powerhouse, is a dynamic voice in literature, respected career in nursing, and a whole lot, pouring her passion into creating narratives that dive deep into human resilience, faith, and identity, and now rescuing African men.
We must begin to tell ourselves the truth that the West is not structured to accommodate the same cultural ideologies we bring from back home in Africa, especially expectations around manhood and authority. African men often arrive the West carrying traditional values that in this new environment begin to clash with modern systems and expectations without a conscious effort to blend both culture, to understand and adapt without losing oneself. The result is often confusion, resentment. This book is to create an awareness and help put an end to the pain and uncertainty plaguing many families. This book is not against migration. It's not based on gender. It's just preparation for the journey ahead.
If more of such moves are made revealing the realities of living abroad in this magnitude, more men in Cameroon and Africa at large will be careful, mentally prepared, ready to face realities that comes with African men migrating. Contrary to African cultural values,